you did was good. You just don't have to do the same. Like you don't have to do like you can do one video and just take something interesting out of each video. Like you don't have to, like we're trying to point people to one video.
Okay, so I don't have to like take a bunch of clips from one video.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, now the easiest thing to do is to
working hard.
Have you ever
With the Biggie on, with the Biggie shirt on.
You could do something like this.
Where is it for the chat?
Trackstarz.
Let's get it.
When are you gonna be back in town?
In 2 weeks.
You'll be on. Will you be here on the 28th?
No.
Saturday.
That's next week.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Yeah, it is.
28th is next week.
Today's the 21st.
Okay. Dang, is it next week?
What is
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. All right. That was quick.
Hold on 1 second.
You bringing them to the gym?
Yeah. Come on, man. So, like this part, you can usually use this whole thing actually.
We're
Yeah,
live
Sean
now.
already has the transition. Huh?
We're live now.
Okay. Because Sean already has the transitions in there.
Okay.
If y'all want to sit right there, bro, right now.
I don't actually know what you're doing.
Just pull up another one.
Like that. Yeah. We'll talk some more about it, Jerome.
It was on the radio. Y'all ready?
We're not live yet.
Huh?
We don't have a feed yet.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we do. I'm looking at it.
You looking at it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see myself.
All right, y'all ready? Let's go. Let's get it going. At the 5, at the 4,
Hold on, bro.
3,
Hold on.
12, 7.
Alright, we good.
Alright.
All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2.
Nope.
My bad. I was ahead of my jump. All right, here we go. 5, 7, 8, 9. Let's go.
Hey, yo, cut the music. Hey, yo, I interrupt your daily scheduled broadcast to let you know you're in the field with the Trackstarz. This is one of the loudest hip-hop radio shows on the face of the planet.
Yeah, it's about that time, you already know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's time to start the show. Sean, Tanner, Ryan, Righteous, DJ, Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, this joint be fire like, bruh. We in the field, bruh. We in the field, Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, this segment is sponsored by the official launch for Crossover Church ATL, y'all. It's going down in Atlanta Sunday, 9/29, 12:30 p.m., man. You do not want to miss this. Shout out to Scott Free. Shout out to everybody over there at Crossover Church ATL who's making it happen, man. You guys have put in the work, the effort, and it's a good thing, man. So congratulations again to you guys. And in the building, man, we got Mark. Is it Selvie?
Selvie.
Mark Selvie in the building, man, with who put out the hit song At the Church, man. How you guys doing,
man?
bro?
I'm doing awesome, man. What's up, man?
Yeah. Man, doing good. So you have been making a splash with this song At the Church, man. Tell us how it all got started. What's God doing for you right now?
Man, he's doing so much, man. Giving under to God, man.
Yeah.
First, I want to thank you guys so much for having me, most definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, I recorded this song back in 2013.
Okay.
And just been working the record. It's a hot song right now that is really surprising me.
Yeah.
Like, again, I know it's nothing but the grace of God. You know, I ran into Fred Jerkins, I want to say last year, and he heard the record, and to hear it from Fred Jerkins, like, hey, bro, this song that you have, this is a hit.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, I knew I had something, but it wasn't until I ran into him and like Darlene McCoy, Willie Moore Jr., you know, these type of people and caliber people, like, listen, you really need to work the record.
Yeah.
And I just put my own money behind it, fast and prayed about it, and God is doing numbers.
Okay, so what is it actually doing? Where are you seeing the most fruit?
Right now, the charts.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the BDS SoundScan, and you know, as a independent label myself, Swisher Entertainment, you know, when I look at that in the top 500 right now, I'm like 83. So I'm like, wow, okay, cool, it's climbing, and I'm seeing this. So it's inspiring to me to continue to keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's working, but it's picking up. It's playing all through the country right now.
Okay, what was the vision behind Swiss Entertainment?
Save while he tends to saving another.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, God gave it to me. I think also too is cross branding.
Okay.
Because when we hear the name Swisher, we immediately think about the cigar.
Yeah.
But you just got to learn how to cross market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we live in this millennium now. Like, what is catchy? So when I prayed about, like, God, like, what do you want me to call this? And I always used to preach about being intentional. So hey, we'll save while intentionally saving another. Yeah. And that can, you know, sometimes it may not be the word of God. It might just be, hey, you might just need some gas money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You might just need some book bags or something like that. But to reach the people right where they are, just like Jesus did.
Man, that's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What are some things that you see right now happening as your movement is taking off? What do you see God doing around you?
I see God opening up more doors. You know, greater opportunities, but also too learning that every opportunity is not my opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I think it comes along with the territory, especially when you have a hit record. Yeah. Everybody want to be a part of it. Everybody's like, yo, we can do this. But every opportunity is not my opportunity. Gotcha. But he's teaching me how to remain humble. Yeah. How to remain loyal. Continue to keep doing the same things that I was doing before. You know, and like you say, my eyes haven't seen. You know, I believe right now we're just scratching the surface, but it's just teaching me to remain humble, quote unquote, not to get the big head. You know, and just ride the wave and let God do Him. So I'm learning a lot, man. Meeting a lot of different people, and just praying for the spirit of discernment. Like, okay, God, is this you? Should I take this route? What is it that you want me to do? But like, just the opportunities that are coming. But just at the end of the day, understanding that every opportunity is not my opportunity.
So what are some of these opportunities that you're getting?
Man, right now, I think I'm gonna be performing at the Dub Awards.
Okay.
So I look forward to that most definitely.
Yeah.
Dub Awards. Hey, let's take them in the church. But you know, the opportunity. Oh yeah, most definitely. Shout out to Pastor Ken Jones. Okay. We had the opportunity to perform at the Fan Fest. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. Most definitely, we're gonna tear that up. Yeah. But like, just different things, man. So much, you know. Yeah. Just some great opportunities, man. Some stuff. Should I stay independent? Should I sign with a major?
It's a big question right now.
Yeah, it is. It is a big question.
Did you feel shocked? Like, two questions. One, where were you when you first heard it on the radio? And then the second question is, did you feel shocked that God is using this at this time? Because you told me a few minutes ago, like, it's an older record.
It is.
But for it to start climbing the charts, and you recorded it, and you said 2013? Wow. So, yeah.
When I first heard it, I was at home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Laying in the bed. Okay. I was laying in the bed, and I got a text message like, hey, your song is on the radio. I was like, my song? No, I take that back. They're like, hey, you on the radio? I'm like, me? So I ran to the car. I turned it on. I'm like, oh, I'm on the radio. Yeah. So I started screaming and yelling and everything. My daughter, she coming out downstairs. We in the garage. She's like, Dad, what's wrong? I like, the song is on the radio. Go get your mom. But, you know, it's an exciting feeling. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. We all, you know, dream for that day to hear your song playing on the radio like that. Also too, oh man, it's just an exciting feeling, bro. Yeah. I think you really can't put it into words, you know, but to since 2013 up to now, watching it do what it do.
Yeah.
You know, just knowing that you have something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that, like, okay, cool, I know this can go.
Yeah.
But just believing in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believing. Even in 2013, like,
Yeah.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
I'm gonna set this to the side. I know he's gonna do something with it, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, but just believing in me.
Yeah.
Believing in me, bro.
That's
So
key.
yeah.
I was just gonna say that's key because we work with so many different artists that release stuff, they work hard, they invest in it, and when you know you got a hit, you know you got a hit.
Right.
But sometimes it takes time for other people to realize you have a hit.
Right.
And so for you to consciously make the decision that I'm gonna put my own money behind it and invest this and work this single shows faith on your part, which a lot of people don't often realize in this day and age. They're like, I recorded it, I put it out there, that's it. But you gotta work a single. So I would love for you to share what it meant for you to actually work your single and put your own money behind it. Like, what did that look like?
Working the single for me, and this is what I advise any other artist, okay? And we were just talking about this a second ago. It doesn't take a whole lot. You know, I come from an area where I do give my tithes and my offering. Or sometimes I may waste $5 or $10 on a 4 for $4 at Wendy's.
That's right.
You know, I may waste money
Yeah.
in other things that has no value. But I just feel like if you, and most artists, you have a team of people around you, quote unquote, your homeboys or your friends or whatever. If you guys can say, okay, cool, when we get paid every other Friday, we're gonna pull out $100.
Come on.
Okay. And once you begin to do that, you do that like say 2 months or so, you come up with $1,000 or something. You can take that $1,000, put another 5 with it, that's 15, and grab you a nice radio promoter. At least for 30 days just to try.
Hey, okay.
Just to try. But at the same time too, it's like getting that actual quality. Once you create a song, majority of us have the in-house studio. We record the songs, but then it's not mixed and mastered properly.
Come on.
Okay, so having that fun where you can invest in yourself, do some car washes, you know, save money. It's not about how much you make, but it's about how much you save. Okay, if you have, let's say if you pulling songs off of YouTube and you doing all this other stuff, but you have this one record that you want to work. Me personally, you can take my advice, but you can't. What I would advise you to do, take it to patchwork. Where you know it's gonna be mixed right. You know it's gonna be mastered right. Okay, if you don't know me, and I pulled up in a Honda Accord, you might be like, oh, that's a nice Honda. But if I pulled up in a Rolls Royce Ghost, you might be like, who is that? So when they have your song at the radio station and stuff, and they see it in the metabase, hey, mixed and mastered by Patchwork, they automatically be like, okay, cool, we know this record is ready to go.
Oh, wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
This is good stuff.
For some people that don't know, Patchwork is a known studio here in Atlanta. They mix down like every trap album from back in the day to now.
How much is that though?
All right, I know for one song, you can get it mastered for $250.
All right.
Unless the price didn't change, but I know it's $250. So between a month and 2 months, you should be able to come up with $250.
Yeah.
It's about investing in yourself.
It's about investing in yourself.
Good.
Pull $50. Pull $75. Yeah, it's cool that you wasn't able to get everything that you wanted mastered, but if you believe in this one record, put the money behind it.
Yeah.
Put it behind it, okay? Invest in that. Okay, cool. Now you got great quality music. They'll listen to it now. They're not gonna send you back because it's not mixed and mastered properly. Okay,
Right.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to learn how to work the record. Don't get off of it. You know how many times people you to say, we want to hear something else. We don't want to hear at the church no more. I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna burn your ears over at the church because I believed in it.
Wow.
I believed in it, okay? So with me believing in me, now I'm starting to see the fruits of it. I don't think I've seen everything yet, okay? But it's just all about believing in you. How much are you willing to sacrifice? Does your discipline match your dream? You have to be disciplined.
About to drop the mic on that
I
one.
would say another thing too, like you are doing the groundwork and doing stuff in front of people. Whereas artists today, like a lot of artists today, is all online. You doing online, and I'm sure you're probably doing online too. But you're doing the traditional way to promote a record by going to the places, performing. You're doing all this stuff. So now you're seeing the fruits of your labor because you was out in front of people performing.
Exactly, bro.
And then like you told a story about Fred Jerkins, who's a great producer who worked with Dark Child Entertainment. saw you performing this song and was like, bro, you got a hit on your hands,
Got a hit.
and you need to do something with it.
Right.
So I'm saying that to people, like, I think we're in the internet age where everybody want to do everything online. It's like, no, the old school traditional, perform your record. Somebody is going to hear that record and give you more and more advice to help you go further.
Right, and I feel like too, and my partner Finesse, and he'll tell you too. Like I tell artists, John Legend and Andre 3000 had the song "Ordinary People" or something.
Yeah.
But at the end of the record, Andre said, "John, you got to get from behind that piano sometimes and
Yeah,
have some fun.
yeah.
You have to learn how to get out and shake the right hands.
Yeah.
You can't, we see all this stuff going on in Atlanta,
Yeah.
but we stay at home. We're not willing to drive 45 minutes on the other side of town. You have to be able to learn how to network with different people.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Being professional at all times, because you never know who you're talking to. You never know who hand that you may be shaking.
Yeah.
So my thing is also like being in and now. The internet and everything is cool, but let me go to this event.
Yeah.
Let me shake this person's hand. Let me come out to Trackstarz and tell you guys, hey, I appreciate you. The city appreciates you. Thank you for what you're doing. Remaining humble. That's the way you're gonna climb.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve.
Yeah.
It's not about me. And my thing is I'm not gonna be rapping forever.
Yeah.
But I want to leave a legacy to be like, when my Mark came, man, he was a cool guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't about at the church the record.
Yeah.
Man, I just like his personality. I like his spirit.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Because you know why? Later on, you never know. You might be like, you know what? I'm having a barbecue. And I want Mark to come out and just do at the church record. You get what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah.
Getting out, meeting the right people, get off of social media. It's good. I'm not knocking technology, but it's better to go out and shake hands. They don't do interviews for a job over the phone. If you're trying to get into a nice record company or label something, knock on the doors. I used to walk around with a business card that had a thumb drive attached to it. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. I used to have a business card and I zip tie a thumb drive. And when I go places, you would get the business card.
I was like, where they had those at?
I made it.
It's a Swish exclusive.
Exclusive.
I
And I
love it.
promise you, I gave it
How to
to,
trademark that one, yeah.
I want to say I gave one to Q Parker or something.
Okay.
Oh,
And when he
yeah.
got it, he was like, wait. He's like, man, this is awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
But you have to be creative.
And he remembers you because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He may
It's something
not-
that stands out versus everybody. Here's my CD. Here's this. Here's
Here's
that.
the thumb
Yeah.
drive with the business card.
Yeah.
And then on the thumb drive, it was the actual business card, a bio, a picture, and the MP3 of the
Work,
song.
brother, work. That's all I gotta say. Work.
Yeah.
Look, that's a good look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
So are you making a remix of this song?
I want to,
Okay.
but I'm not sure
Okay.
because I feel like the song would never die. I feel like it's a classic, and I feel like certain songs don't need to be touched.
Oh, okay.
Let it go down in history as Mark Selvie at the church. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think I probably won't do a remix unless Kanye West or T.I. or 2 Chainz, But no,
It happened.
you never know. But I feel like I probably just
So
Leave
the
it.
decision to like if a label comes to you and they're like, yo, the song's hot, I want to kind of get on board with this, and I'm gonna give you all the promotion, all the stuff, so you don't gotta do that yourself anymore. What's the decision there?
I would never turn down an opportunity or a meeting.
Okay.
I'm willing to listen. It just has to make sense,
Okay.
especially like with the generation that we're in now with technology. If you can help, then help. But I'm never to the point where like, nah, I'm gonna turn it down, because like I said before, it's never about me anyway.
Yeah.
If it's God will for me to hook up with this company and they do that for me, then guess what? I'm cool with it. Because regardless if my entertainment company fades away and I'm with this group of people, I'm still saved while the intention saving another. That's
Okay.
me. It's more than entertainment. It's a movement. It's a brand. But to answer the question, I'm ears. Let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
That's a good look. So how's the video doing?
We just shot the mini movie.
Okay.
It's on YouTube now and Facebook.
Okay.
But we are shooting the actual at the church video this Saturday at Pastor Ken Jones Fan Fest.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be up there.
Okay.
We have 1K Few that's gonna be there. Jordan Armstrong, Q Parker.
So is this talking about the 28th?
On the 28th.
28th. Okay.
Yeah, we shooting the video. And shout
Okay.
out to my man Genesis. He's gonna
Genesis working hard, man.
Yeah.
Genesis didn't put that camera down yet.
Yeah.
So he about his thing.
So it's coming.
Yeah.
It's
Hustle,
coming.
man, hustle.
Finesse, how you fit into all this, man?
Oh man, I'm an artist on the record label.
Okay.
I'm one of the artists on the record label, and
Okay.
me and Mark, we good friends, we brothers.
Okay.
So I'm here for the support. You know, I'm here for the support, and when it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for finesse.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's amazing. I'm glad to hear you guys have so much going on, and that the fact that you guys had a mini movie out, because visuals are important, right? Like the song can do great, but having a visual also sells that story too. So that's what's up, man. That's really great.
All right, tell them how to find you guys. Tell them the song again and where, what to look for.
Okay, cool. The song is At the Church. You can find it right now on iTunes, Google Play, anywhere music is being sold or downloaded. You can also connect with me through all social media platforms. I like to make it easy. It's Mark Selvie, MarkSelvie. If you get lost, just go to Google and just type in At the Church, and everything Mark Selvie, Instagram, Facebook, everything will pop up.
Yeah.
But I love to connect with you guys. I'm humble, loyal, and ready to work.
Yeah, man, that's what's up.
Dope. All right, man, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you all know all about the official Trackstarz universe. If you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, free merch, discounts, exclusive content, and direct access to your favorite radio host, then this is for you. Make sure to check out
I think it's most requested for Willie Morris on Willie Morris.
Oh yeah. Listen.
You about to play? Yeah. Just play for them. Turn it up in there.
You see, for me, I was born and raised in the church, and as a kid, you quite didn't understand it, but I promise you, man, I really appreciate it now, for real. I was born in the church, I was raised in the church, ain't no walking, ain't no talking when they praying in the church. I'm devoted at the church, and I'm serving at the church, get my offering, get my tithes every time I come to church. Mama made me go to church, ain't no sleeping up in church.
This is a Trackstarz.
Ain't no whooping up in church. Yeah, free come to church and deliver come to church. Before I gave my life to Christ, I was a sinner up in church. Man, they cooking at the church, but new members of the church, when they get their plate and leave, I'm gon' get me some dessert. Mama, daddy at the church, auntie, uncles at the church, brother, sister, niece, and nephew, cousins all at the church. Man, they worship at the church and they serve him at the church. Got that one faithful member always running through the church. Take communion at the church. What you doing up in church? Got a handful of crackers cause you hungry up in church. Leaving work, going to church, leaving school, going to church, leave the house, set in traffic, and I'm on my way to church. Monday night at the church, choir rehearsal at the church, Wednesday night Bible study, and we meeting at the church. Sunday morning at the church, Sunday evening at the church. Can you please keep it down? Thinking meeting at the church, leaving church, going to church. Hey, at the church, at the church, at the church. Choir singing at the church, pastor preaching at the church. He was teaching, I ain't hooping, now they shouting at the church. 3 o'clock, we still in church. I was in my mama purse. Peppermint is all you got when you sitting up in church. I was raised in the church, just like my first birth. Daddy used to tell me all the time to keep going first. Man, it's hot at the church, ceiling fans at the church, but they never on high. Man, they playing at the church. Got the greeters at the church, got the ushers at the church. Better take off your hat when you're walking through the church. Do revivals at the church, guest speakers at the church. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we still at the church. Altar call at the church, this your chance at the church. Anything on your heart, you can leave at the church. Parking lot at the church, kinda full at the church. Better park in the rear so you can leave at the church. Leaving work, going to church, leaving school, going to church. Leave the house, set in traffic, and I'm on my way to church. Monday night at the church, choir rehearsal at the church. Wednesday night Bible study, and we meeting at the church. Sunday morning at the church, Sunday evening at the church. Can you please keep it down? Thinking meeting at the church, leaving church, going to church. Hey, at the church, at the church, at the church. If you know you love your church, put your hand in the sky. Everybody represent like this. Let me hear you say, at the church, at the church, at the church, at the church. If you know you love your church, turn your radios up. Everybody represent like this. Let me hear you say, at the church, at the church, at the church, at at the church. Leaving work, going to church. Leaving school, going to church. Leave the house, set in traffic, and I'm on my way to church. Monday night at the church. Choir rehearsal at the church. Wednesday night Bible study, and we meeting at the church. Sunday morning at the church. Sunday evening at the church. Can you please keep it down? Digging meeting at the church. Leaving church, going to church. Hey, at the church, at the church, at the church.
What's good, yo? It's your boy Stephen Malcolm, and you are in the field with Trackstarz.
Figure out if it's gonna get pushed to Sunday.
Okay. That's next week.
Well, that's what I said. I texted you last night. So they had some stuff talking about. They want to use the part of the movement here. So they want to use the church, the banisters, the basement, the fellowship hall. But the big part of that is 1KQ. So we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, he's performing out there too.
Yeah, so I'm trying to let.
But he has to be in that scene.
Yeah. So I'm trying to let Ryan know.
Oh, he's performing in. He's gonna be in the video. I'm in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so he probably ended up coming.
So where did y'all record the song?
I recorded in my in-home studio.
Really? It sound good.
Man, I really appreciate it.
Oh man, yeah, dope.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. I recorded, but then like on certain projects like that, I always take it to the big boys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Take it out to Kenny Mix.
Yeah.
Let them do what they do.
But is it just a send, or do you actually go up there?
I go up there.
You watch them do it?
But yeah,
you sit with them?
that's what I was saying.
That's still
Like you can
$250?
pay for them to mix it. I mean to master it, or you can pay like a little bit extra and sit in there. But I'd rather pay it. Now I done created the relationship.
So now you call that guy.
I call Kenny Mix.
So do you mix it first, or is he just mastering?
Kenny Mix is he's the lead mastering.
Okay.
But he's the one. He's been there for years, so he didn't master anywhere from Janet Jackson to.
Yeah. I'm saying, do you have to get a mix done first, and then he just?
I do my
the
mix.
So you do the mix, okay?
No, she there.
Now, but you don't have to.
He'll fix it for you.
Kenny Mix, he's the master, but you have Luther Banks. He's the one that does mixing too.
It's a separate fee, though, right?
It's a separate fee. But he
He'll work with you.
Yeah, but usually I mix it, and then I take it.
You did a good job, man.
Hey, I sure appreciate it, man. Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, but be too humble. The dude, he being modest. He's a great engineer. Crispy sound.
When did you start doing that?
I've been recording for about 15 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
We want to get with you guys too, man. We shooting a movie next month as well.
Oh, really?
It's called Streets.
Okay.
And we'd love to have you guys do cameos or something.
Okay. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know, definitely. They said they shooting a movie too.
Oh yeah? When is that?
Next month.
Okay.
It's called Streets.
Okay.
The movie is called Streets.
It's called Streets.
Exciting.
So you guys are more than welcome.
Do you do video stuff too?
Genesis
That's
does.
all Genesis?
I have like 3 or 4, but he's the primary.
Okay.
And he does great. I'm talking about excellent.
All right. 15 seconds.
Are we done or we back?
It's up to you. It's up to you.
The interview part is over?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's done. Yeah, this is his segment. I just get some of my stuff.
It's time for the entertainment report with Jeremiah.
All right, man. It's entertainment report time. Let's get it going. All right. Real quick, NF is currently in the midst of a wildly success, the search tour and promotion of his album. He's already unveiled with the tour is picking up on 2020, beginning in April. It starts in Arkansas and ends in May of next year in San Diego. He will be here in New York, LA, Chicago, and Atlanta, and some other stops in the U.S. Go to his website to check out for more. All right, man. Chance the Rapper credits Jesus for giving back. Chance the Rapper was recently on Ellen's show where he declared that Jesus has inspired him to be a more generous person. My understanding of a lot of stuff is based on Jesus, aside from the music and known for philanthropy in Chicago public school system. In 2015, the rapper and some of his peers helped raise $100,000 for Chicago schools through the Get School program. Last summer, he wrote a $1 million check to his city public school foundation to help support the arts and the school system. Jesus teaches to care for your neighbor and care for people that aren't necessarily your blood but still be a part of your body because we're all human. That's an impactful thing that I understood more as I got older. My parents, since I was young, definitely installed into me that when you see people that are in need, you don't just want to pass them by. You want to try and do something beneficial to help them before you leave, because that's my imprint. So I guess it's a mixture of my parents and Jesus, which Ellen replied, those are some great inspirations. So shout out to Chance for saying that. All right, man, comment section this week. Social Club Misfit Doom EP, DJ Kid Easy Bigger, Eshawn Burgundy For the Love of Money, Zay Hill, Isaiah EP, Bria Miles, God Culture Remix single, Caleb Mitchell, Get It single, Byron Jawan, Lonely single, Roy Tosh, Goat single, Jay Monty, 100 Bars Part 4 single, and Shepherd, Game Time Remix single. What you got, Ryan?
Yeah, man, I just want to shout out. We only had just one artist to shout out this week, man. Shout out to Avi La. He dropped Make or Break Me. So, you know, if you're looking for distribution opportunities, you can check out nectardistro.com. Go to the About Us page, find out what we're all about, and see what you can get done, all right?
Awesome, man. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Wright, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
She's next door, so if you want to bring her in, we can interview her.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Very nice meeting you, Mark.
Great job, man.
Mark, let me get the number on there.
So send us your information.
Meeting you.
Yes, sir, bro.
All right. Nice to meet you, man.
I want to get
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
404 396 86 Anytime you guys need anything. Okay. More the music. We'll come up here, both chairs. You said we here to serve, all right?
Okay.
Thank y'all so much.
all right. God bless you. All right, y'all take care.
Saving 30 minutes. All the programs are downtown. I would only go up there if I was renting up there.
Eshawn?
Yeah. That sounds good, man.
Miracle. Can you pull that chair back? How you doing, by the way? Good. Latasha.
Hey, how are you?
Right here, yeah.
I'm great. How you doing? Good.
You just doing one?
Studio.
Get ready to record. This the last one? Yeah.
They don't play, girl. They don't play. They legit.
I did.
Okay, cool. Excuse me, I forgot who I was talking to. You know better than I. Shoot.
Yeah, I just tweeted it. I didn't put it on Instagram.
Can they hear me? What's up, Risha? What up, Ruslan, Prophet, Jay? What up, Jay, Lewis, Jimmy? Rayma, Me Beast, Amos, Crispy in the building. Happy to have haters. Misha is in the building. Camille's in the building. Nathan's in the building. Tashi's in the building.
All right, 10 seconds. So we coming in.
Salute. This is Eshawn Burgundy. Right now, you're in the field with the Trackstarz. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, visit www.trackstarz.com with the Z. Follow us on Instagram at Trackstarz, Twitter at Trackstarz, like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as always on Monday, download the podcast.
All right, so we have Latasha Morrison in the building.
Hey, how you doing?
The creator of Be the Bridge.
You got it right.
Awesome.
You didn't say be a bridge builder. That's what people normally say.
I cheated because I stared at your book. But, how are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
Good.
It's good to be here.
So for the people who watch our show, tell them who you are, what you did, what you're doing.
Okay, well, my name is Latasha Morrison. I'm the founder and president of an organization called Be the Bridge. And so basically what Be the Bridge is we are a organization that is centered around racial reconciliation, racial equity, racial healing within the church. And so we want to teach church and organizations how to have a transformative and distinct voice around what it mean. What does racial reconciliation really mean, truly mean? And so we host trainings, online, offline. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. I travel a lot, and I do this. Predominantly I'm in more of the white spaces. So this is really good, for me to see my melanated brothers and sisters sitting in the room. This is kind of odd, but it's good, and so this message is for everyone. And so we develop a lot of resources and tools. So we have a guide that we've created that churches use. We actually have discussion cards, and we're producing more guides, and we just launched our youth version. We have a college version, and so we're on about 12 college campuses, and we're in every state except for 3. We have over 1,000 groups, and we're also in Canada and New Zealand. So we're working on an anti-racism conference, partnering with the Be the Bridge group that's in New Zealand. So there's a lot happening. So we want to make sure your audience knows about it.
So what gave you the idea to start this?
I didn't have an idea. I got thrown into this because we live this. And because when you live this, you're always thinking about what can I do? And so my what can I do turned into an action. So I didn't start to start an organization. For some of you who know me, I was in corporate America. Then I went into full-time ministry, and in that being in full-time ministry, I just noticed that the church was so racially segregated. And so most of my earlier years was in a predominantly African-American church, but after leaving there, I started working in predominantly white churches, and I saw the difference in the effort as it relates to really talking about racial unity and healing and diversity more so in the African-American church, but not more so in the white church. And so I just knew that if I was going to go on another staff, I wasn't going to sit around and, not speak, use my voice. And so if I noticed something, I'm going to say it. And so I noticed, a lot of different things. And so that's how it started. Wanting to have conversations and just, really realizing that people live in segregated boxes. And I would notice comments my friends would say, and I'm just like, what? I don't want you to ever say that to another black person ever again. So I'm going to have to help you, And most of the time it was ignorance, and then living in Texas, I lived in Texas after leaving Atlanta for 5 years, and living in Texas, it was like, I didn't understand what kind of history they were teaching there. It was really distorted history. And when you teach lies, it perpetuates the problem, you know? And so that's what we've done as a country. So really my thought was to just bring some people together that wanted to talk and really be real and share truth with this. And that turned into Be the Bridge. So it started off with me personally having a conversation with some women, diverse group of women, and that turned into creating a guide to help other people have the conversation and presenting it at a conference. My friend had a conference. I didn't realize that it was like a simulcast conference. I was like, it's like 3,000 people there. So I'm like, oh, that's good. But not realizing that this thing was like viewed like over 1 million times, you know? And so that is what started the conversation, because people thought I was already an organization when I presented at the conference, and it was like I had to go and create a organization to really deal with the people who really wanted to know and grow in this space.
So speaking of 1 million times, how did Facebook get involved?
Oh,
How did I heard $1 million got thrown from Facebook towards you?
Well,
how did that go down?
If you guys know, like even in the church space, the what you would call the secular space, like value-based space, people, it's all broken. You know, like systemic racism, nobody can escape it. And so one of the things that happened with Facebook is because when I first started, before I spoke at the conference, I was like, I don't even know, like, I'm not an organization. I don't have a website, nothing. And so my friend's organization, they hosted the guide on their website. I didn't have a website, so I started a Facebook group.
Gotcha.
I'm telling you, Facebook groups.
Yeah, they're big.
You know, they're big, you know. And so I started that and started it with 69 people, just curating information on where people can go if they wanted questions. Very naive, you know, not thinking like having this conversation on social media, but we were able to bring some structure around it with help from just people that just saw the idea and really wanted to be a part of it. And so a lot of my friends who are in this with me today started from that Facebook group. And so it started with 69 people, and there's over 23,000 today.
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, and so I think what happened is because of that and because of the type of conversation Facebook found out through actually my best friend saw that they were having this community event, and we applied. One of our admins named Elizabeth applied for it, and they went and just shined. I couldn't even go. So this is when you know when stuff can't be built around you. I sent 3 people from our team. These are volunteers from our team, and they went and shined. And then it caught the eye of Sheryl Sandberg. Of the video, really, because we do a lot of education as it relates to this construct of whiteness, and so that caught the eye of Sheryl Sandberg, and then we got put into this special group of people, power users who are using Facebook groups, and then they only announced certain things in there. So they announced about this grant. And so one of the girls that's on our team said, hey, we qualify for this. We should apply. We need money, because people don't really typically give to this. We're a 501c3, but people don't really give to racial reconciliation. They give to like wells and children and tangible things, but not like systemic issues that affect all of that causes all of those things. You know, they don't see the connection. And so we applied and, you know, went through all these interviews, and I got a call one day. It was like they were supposed to announce it like in July, and so it was like the almost mid August. Okay. And I got a call, and the girl was like, you know, they were giving away $50,000 grants and $1 million grant. And so, but there was only going to be $5 million grants and then like $150,000 grants. So I was just happy, like, we get $50,000, that's good. Yeah. So she calls me, and I'm thinking that, and she's telling me about everything, and then she said, but, you know, we have exciting news that you're the only recipient from North America that's getting the $1 million grant. So the other person is in Brazil, Africa, India, and then France. And so that right there was really affirming, where sometimes you think you're going to be affirmed by the church and supported by the church. It's not that I haven't been affirmed and supported, but the way that I thought resources would come and help would come, you know, it was like God will use a rock. He'll use a donkey. He'll use Facebook. So that's incredible, and they have allowed me to be my full self. I know with social media and all these different things, but I've been able to be Tasha in that space and not be anyone else unapologetically. And so it's been a great learning for us to help us with building the infrastructure around Be the Bridge. So it's been great, and starting Be the Bridge Youth in college, we wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff without the funds from that. I wouldn't even be hired.
Yeah.
Because I was working, quit my job, but I wasn't hired. I won't get no check. And so we're able to do that and really bring infrastructure. And we were able to hire some people to help us take Be the Bridge to the next level. So
Can I ask? I know that first of all, congratulations. Like that's huge. And just hearing the journey and seeing some of it, it's like, oh my goodness, like it's amazing.
Like God is real.
Yes. And how, like you said, you were thrown into this, but He's provided every step of the way in ways you can't even fathom. The fact that you have to build something around the demand is huge. So yeah, awesome journey. But I was just gonna ask, now that you're launching the different the youth and the college versions of this, like how has the approach and some of the issues, I should say, how does some of them differ? Just because you're dealing with different generations, different age groups, and although this is systemic and things are taught, I know the new millennial generation is different as far as their approach even with race and equality and and some of it's good and some of it's like, ooh, what's going on, so how does it differ? How have you found it to differ, and how has your approach changed based on those differences?
That's a really good question. Gen Z is no joke. And not Gen Z, but what you call it? Yeah, Gen Z. I'm Gen X, dating myself, but it's really no joke, and they're challenging, and we need each other. Every generation needs each other, just like we need the baby boomers. There's something to learn. We can't disqualify people because of their age, whether they're younger or older. I think it's about solidarity and coming together. There's something we can learn from one another, and we can look at that even scripturally, and how we're supposed to learn from generations past, and so we're supposed to remember, the things that they've done and not forget. And so when I look at Generation Z, they are a justice generation. They're very passionate. They're not here for the okie dokie.
Come on.
And they don't, and this is the thing, we have, like, when our parents was growing up, and some of you guys look at your parents' birth certificates, some of you may see the word Negro, or, then you see my birth certificate says Black, and then now the generation says African American. Like, our category, our classification has changed. And so when they hear the word Black, a lot of times it's very derogatory for them.
Wow.
And so for them, because when we see Black, it's more inclusive, because you're talking about Haitians, you're talking about Jamaicans, you're talking about people from Great Britain. It's like Black, the diaspora, in that sense. But when you say African American, it doesn't really make sense outside of this country, because Africa is a continent, so even just getting their perspectives on things and how they think has added value to Be the Bridge. And so I'm looking for all the interns that are Gen Zers, because I think they add value. But our approach in that space is different, and we're learning that. We're learning about design thinking. We're learning about all these things that make organizations and systems and curriculum work, because we're having to listen. And so I think it's about, really not feeling like you have all the answers. Like, we don't have all the answers. Be the Bridge is just one way. We're just one part of the solution. There's several other people doing some amazing things out there. They're involved in all kinds of things, but this is just one way. Our way is very relational. We're about the establishing relationships and setting up groups and stuff like that. So so that's one of the things that we're doing. But I would say one of the greatest things would be to listen to young people, listen to young people and then glean from them, so that's important. Yeah.
What's being in these environments at the like when you go in and you talk to people, what's one of the toughest questions that you have to answer that you would think people would probably know now, but versus like
I think one of the things is, why should I care? when I get that from Christians, you know, where people are like involved in this space and they're Christians and they say, well, you know, this was done generations ago. You know, why should I even care about this issue? I didn't own slaves. You weren't a slave. Why are we still talking about it?
Yeah.
But when people when they see it very individualistic, and you know, when we talk about the different types of racism, you know, the thing that people in America, and you can see it on the news, even newscasters, the media perpetuates this problem where they look at it as an individualistic issue or instance versus systemic, and not understanding that every system in our country, well, I would say every system throughout the world, when you start talking about colonization and things that happen in Africa, you know, every system is built around white supremacy, you know. And so when I get that, when I look at scripture and I'm like, okay, the Bible's written very collective, not individualistic. And so there's things that we do in remembrance of, but when you start talking about relational history, you want us to forget, you know. And it's like we have to look back in order to move forward, and how to mourn, and how mourning and lament should take us toward justice and understanding biblical justice as a social justice, you know. And so I think that's the part that's really, you know, when I hear that, sometimes I'm like, okay, you remember the sins of Achan, like, you know, like just all these different things scripturally. So, but when you read the Bible through your cultural lens, and your cultural lens is informed by your belief system, your theology, all those different things that we can actually see, you know, people read scripture and they don't see, you know. And so when you start talking about, you know, blind spots, there's blind spots that people have, and we need each other, you know, in this. And I think even for, as it relates to people of color, we don't know our history because we're really educated by the same system that others are. You know, we have lived experiences that are different, that inform us. But when it comes to historical context, we don't really understand. You know, there's so many things that when we start talking about colorism and classism and all the different things, internalized racism, those are things that, you know, we hope to address even in Be the Bridge. We're establishing some curriculum around that to help people of color, because we don't know each other's story. We don't know the Native story. We don't know what it's like to be, a part of the Latinx community. You know, in the States, you know, we don't understand, you know, like, because it's not affecting our community, we're not involved. So we don't understand immigration, you know, and some of the issues, but understanding that's affecting brown and black people, you know. But you hear about the brown people, not necessarily hearing about the black people that it's affecting from Haiti and Jamaica and Bahamas and all these different places. So it's like, it really takes a lot of education, and we have to come together and really sit with and be with and lament with one another, and that's important. I mean, there's a whole book in the Bible called Lamentations. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, half of the Psalm, what is David doing, crying out? You know, the prophets, you know, what are they doing, lamenting? So it's a very theological concept, but really when we think about the expression of the church, and the hierarchy in the church and seminaries and how they teach, all that is impacted by who holds the power.
Yeah. Is the current political environment, does that make it more difficult for your message?
Yes, it does.
Because there's a lot of tension right now.
Yeah, it does. You know, one of the things, 2016 was a big shift for Be the Bridge, because we were Be the Bridge is only 3 years old, y'all. So we babies. So there's a lot that has happened. But I really feel like God was just grooming in 2015, was preparing us for this. I had no idea what would happen in 2016. We started the process of, you know, becoming a 501c3. The conversation started in 2014, but we started the process of becoming an organization in 2015. Then 2016 happened. I had no idea. And it was like, for such a time as this, you know, our group got flooded, but then now people are like, well, you don't want to be so political, or you gotta. I'm like, first of all, politics are about people, and I hear this all the time. And if we could get this straight now, like, politics are about people. So if you're going to talk about this, and race is a political and social construct, so anytime you bring up race, it's political. And so to say, you're not gonna talk about the concerns and the needs of people. That's first of all, that's ignorance in a sense, you know. Now, if you're talking about not being partisan, you know, when we talk about race, it should be a bipartisan issue, you know. And so I can understand when people say, let's not be so partisan. But when you say, let's not be so political, you know, that makes no sense. And we need to be educated on that, because anything we talk about as it relates to poverty, anything we're talking about, if it relates to people, it's political, you know. So we just have to understand that. So yes, it has fanned the flame on the organization. And then how do you address this without being derogatory? How do you address this in a respectful manner, but truth tell? And so we have to truth tell, and because history gives an account, you know. And when we look back now, when we look at speeches and articles from segregationists, you know, I tell people, I say, I want you to look at our racial history in our country. Let's look at slavery. Let's look at the impact, the trauma, the generational. Really take a look at true, like, read slave narratives. Now, I'm not talking about what the school books say, or, you know, but the words that were left by people, the accounts. We have actual factuals, you know, as it relates to this, of our leaders, our founding fathers. We have actual factuals in letters and books that were written. So, you know, what you would say, you know, so when we talk about that, when I tell people to look back at that, you know, things that are just are not always legal, and things that are legal are not always just. And so you know, at one point, for over 200 and something years in this country, slavery was legal, but was it just? You know, so, and there were, in majority, it was, you always have a remnant. You always have outliers. You always have some people that are against things, but like sometimes most of the time they are the minority voice in that. So this institution existed for 240 years. So this is not like 10 years. And so, like, some people say this little thing, you know. So when you look at history, when you talk about full freedom and in our country, there's been more parts of our country where we were not free than we are free. And I love when people show that on a scale. You know, you see like this little 60 years here versus all these centuries, you know, and that's a reality. And so I tell people to look at that, and then you look at Jim Crow, you know, Reconstruction, all these things, you know. When you look at that and you look at where the church was in this, the church was not an outlier. It was not lamenting. It was not saying this is wrong, this is immoral. The church was not just a part of the problem, complicit in the problem, but created the, you know, infrastructure. And the reason why I say church is because in the Old Testament, you know, God is addressing Israel. In the New Testament, God addressed the church. So when I'm saying the church, I'm talking about capital C church. And so you have whole denominations that were formed because of slavery, because of desegregation. You know, when we look into the 60s and stuff, there are institutions, schools, seminaries, Christian schools that were formed because they did not want their kids to go to school with black people. So we got to know our history. It's there. And so, but when we look at this history, I want us to look at every point, people of color, and I want to say specifically African American people, because there would be several other people of color groups would not be here if we hadn't marched, you know. And so we have to look at that. Like when you're coming from Jamaica, or if you're coming from Nigeria, if you came from, you know, Korea or China, all these different things. This was because of the Immigration Act in 1968. You know, and so that came off the backs of African Americans in this country that not only marched for our rights, but also for the rights of others. And so if you look historically, you know, at that, we have to give an account for that, you know. So when we look at that, if we look at that history, at what point in our history, in our racialized history in this country, have black people ever been wrong? But at what point can we point where the church has been wrong? Actual factuals in that sense, as my friend says. It's like when we look at the church was on the wrong side of slavery, the church was on the wrong side of segregation. And so when we start looking at what's happening now and what we're going through as a country and who's speaking. I'm not talking about the 5% that you want to agree with you. I'm talking about the majority of the people of color. What are they saying? History gives an account. So I would look back at history and say, we were wrong in all these other areas. Maybe we're wrong now. And so that's, so I'm just saying, like, it will be 20 years from now, and we're going to look back at Colin Kaepernick. We're going to look back at some of the things, the statements that have been said. And then this Generation Z is going to be like, what was wrong with them? Just the way we look back at how can slavery, just in this institution exists and people change the Bible, change scripture for 240 years. We look, what was wrong with them? How can you say little black boys and little black girls and white boys and Native children not going to school together was okay? How could you say that stripping Native children away from Native families and putting them in orphanages was okay? How can you say the Japanese internment camp was okay? How could you say that the Chinese Exclusion Act was okay? How can you say that putting kids in cages down at the border now is okay?
Right.
It's the same history, and because we don't know it, we repeat it. And so 20 years from now, we will give an account. Wow. But whose side will we be on?
This is the book.
Tasha Morrison.
Hey.
Be the bridge.
Yeah. We went to school today. Yeah. If y'all didn't know, we just went to school.
And I talk about a lot of this in the book. I tell my story, and I tell historical context because history is just so important. Yeah. That what's the Hamilton, and it says history has its eyes on you. That song on there is so true. Like, history has its eyes on us. So what will history write about us? What will history say about Trackstarz? I think you guys got a good track record.
Thank you. So tell them how to follow you and keep up with you.
Okay, so you can follow me at Latasha Morrison on all the social channels. So my Facebook is kind of full, so you have to follow my author page, which is Tasha Morrison. But on Instagram is Latasha Morrison. On Twitter is Latasha Morrison. And then we also have Be The Bridge. You can follow Be The Bridge on Facebook, and then also on all the channels. So it's not Be The Bridge on Insta and Twitter. Is BA Bridge, BA Bridge Builder on those channels. But yeah, so, and you can follow our information about the book, and it's available on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It launches October the 15th, and we're actually having a book launch celebration here in Atlanta at the Auburn Research Library on October the 15th, and we're setting out for a book tour. So far we're going to North Carolina, Texas, California, Boston, and I think a couple other places.
And they can pre-order now.
Yeah.
Oh, pre-order right away. So you can go to Amazon, you can go to Barnes & Noble, you can pre-order on all the social channels. You can go to latashamorrison.com and pre-order there. And so the pre-order things, if you guys know anything about book sales, it's all about that. And if we want to see books by people who look like us, we got to go out and support those books. And so there will be an audio book also. So
incredible.
Awesome. Thank you for coming to share with us.
Thanks for having me.
You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
You are listening to the Trackstarz.
Yo, shout out to Kasai Music Magazine for the super chat. Nathan McCleskey.
Let me get a picture. Okay, thank you so much. And also, read the comment.
One more thing.
Keep up the great work, Trackstarz. Appreciate that, Nathan.
Those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay. Cool.
Anything. Yeah.
Gotta figure out how to collect that money.
Actually, like right about.
Okay.
I'll just make the
Czar.
Is it 12 show? From 12.
He's in the 14 Czar. That's South Africa.
Oh, wow. I
We
didn't
don't
even
get a
notice
picture
it was
with
different.
you.
Okay.
Shout out South Africa. Appreciate that.
Okay, you guys look up here. I want to get the picture now in action.
Can you take a picture of a person with us?
camera. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, good job. Okay.
These are the conversations I've had to have before.
Oh, Latasha, are you about to leave now?
Yeah, what you need?
You want me to take a picture of her? Yeah.
Okay.
In front of our team.
Okay, cool.
We're on a commercial break right now.
No, you good?
Did you start school yet?
How long y'all been?
Oh, you going back?
Yeah, but
Oh gosh, really? You're right. I think it was right after we got
Somebody asked was the audio book.
This time I missed it.
The pre-order the audio book.
just to finish. I never finished it.
Yeah, they can pre-order audio. So I had a year left.
Oh, okay.
I recorded it.
You did the recording?
Already, yeah, I recorded it.
What'd you say?
My book is on the Penguin
Oh, really?
Random House, and so I recorded in their studio in New York, but I had to do some pickups like here in the area. So I don't know when. I think you can pre-order because I was looking at Ta-Nehisi.
You spoken to Derek?
What's his name?
He's
You
over
asked
here.
the wrong person. I always Ta-Nehisi.
Today?
I always say his name. But his book, you know, as long as you have the cover.
I was gonna call him and say
Okay.
he was here.
Okay. Awesome.
He's fine. He's doing his podcast and he's got the studio video and all that.
I'm gonna go say hello.
I gotta go on and get it. Remix with Travis Scott. Did y'all hear that?
I don't know.
Who's it?
Oh, Caleb Mitchell. They released the song.
Just a phone that you can send it to me. Like this.
Are you guys
Yeah,
We'll be right back.
Yes.
Only a fisherman, I got a climb. Put in the work, you know I'm a grind. Someone telling me the numbers looking funny, better believe that I ain't gonna sign. They wasn't with me when I was in the kitchen. Now these people want a piece of the pie. Count it all, drumming, I take it in stride. Feet on the ground, but my head in the sky. I gotta go out and get it. I cannot waste no more time, yeah. I got the light all inside of me. Better believe I'ma shine, yeah. I gotta go out and get it. 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 Woke up that morning, I looked in the mirror, said I gotta go out and get it. I gotta go out and get it. I gotta go out and I gotta I gotta go out and get it. 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 Woke up that morning, I looked in the mirror, said I gotta go out and get it. I gotta go out and get it. I gotta go out and get it. Ain't no stopping my grind, I'ma get it right now. I ain't come to play with them now, I came to shut the thing down. Yeah, they told me all work things off. I cannot afford to take a day off. The competition doing they wrong. I'ma be the one that's finna stay on.
Give me a picture.
Well, let me do another song real quick. About to come on.
I gotta go out and get it. 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 Woke up that morning, I looked in the mirror, said I gotta go out and get it. I gotta go out and get it.
Oh no, I'm doing this with myself.
I gotta go out and get it.
I had to. I wanted to just keep it where it wasn't frozen. You know.
I'm making a list of things that I think we need. So we'll talk about it. All right, where y'all from? Anybody new? Anybody brand new?
Hey, we're gonna take another pic with Ryan this time, real quick.
Yo, it's Marty and Fernie, and you're listening to the Trackstarz. You in the field with them. Dang.
Connect me up to the
To here.
yeah, I'm show them over.
Spending all your money looking like a bag. Rolling on your wrist, you're running up a check. Feeling all so Kardashian. But when your heart is hollow, oh, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad, pretty sad.
know which one you want.
I live my best, ready to the S, but in my inner chest, I could be a mess. Oh, some of y'all are spending hours, think that it's a superpower. Satan looking to devour, let your head off from the tower. You don't need a prince, but you do need a savior. Really, you should save your time working on the inside where it matters, cause all this is bleeding bliss. It won't be missed, so don't be missed. Oh, don't dismiss what this is. Get faced and catch my drift. Spending all your money looking like a bag. Only on your wrist, you're running up a check. Feeling all around, so glad she is. But when your heart's full, oh, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Pretty sad.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna take y'all so y'all can see where we go during the breaks.
You, man. Personal. Okay. Not me just trying to create an organization.
Okay.
And so, but I think the burden of what
Can you take away
they're
your phone?
feeling is real
You do it with your
and
phone.
genuine.
That's the. That's so they can see.
I do you just want me to record it?
No, they're watching.
But
this. That's a live stream.
So just hold it.
Yeah. So.
It's overlooked.
Yeah, but one race is, they're more based here. We're we're like in other cities and states.
Because they did
that's
Stone
good.
Mountain. Were you a part of that?
Okay.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Got it.
And then also, with you, and then the things you have to see is like I'm already dealing with race issues, so I'm not going to go into organizations and deal with female issues as a female leader. And so, if you notice a lot of voices that are part of certain things, it's a lot of male voices.
That's true.
And so that's a part of it. You got to do that deconstructing, and you have to talk about inequities and the intersections of also race and gender, especially when the Christian organizations. So, so I really love what they're doing, but I think it really has to start personally, so you really have to do the work and lead out for what God is doing in your life personally. And so, like, be the bridge. I'm very intentional about, okay, our board has to be diverse, people that are working, and that's hard. It's like you have to be very strategic and intentional, and that's things that I'm always working on, or at least admitting where we are and where we need to improve and making sure that we're learning from one another. So I think, those are some of the things. And then, partnering with Facebook on some things. And I know Bernice King and, the wonderful work she's doing at the King Center. And just a lot of, I feel like we have to support all the organizations. There's any organization you look at, there's going to be problems with. But the thing is, we still have to support each other, help each other, and don't see each other as competition, because the enemy is about divide and conquer. And so you see a lot of that on Twitter and different things that's happening now. So it's like, we're not going to, when we talk about John 17, we talk about oneness. Oneness is not sameness. And unity and solidarity can look different without full agreement, unless what I'm agreeing with qualifies under my oppression. Then we can't agree to disagree on that, but I think it's just about supporting each other. So I love supporting some of the stuff that One Race is doing, and then there's another thing that's coming up, like Race to Reconciliation. The King Center is here, and then across the country you have like Pastor Mike, if y'all not listening to Truth's Table, and so many organizations. But I'm always looking for organizations that are being led and founded by people of color.
Okay. Well, what can we help you with?
Okay, well, I'm really trying to get connected more, although I was gone from Atlanta for 5 years, so coming back, trying to get connected in the community here. And just learning from you guys. Have been doing this work of broadcasting for a while, so be good to learn from you from stuff like that. And so it's good. And use it, always, I just put together a playlist for my book launch for the campaign. I forgot about that, so I put together a playlist. Well, I didn't put together. My friend B. David Stevens put it together. and help from his wife Debbie. And I added some little flavor to it, but yeah, so just stuff like that, just like, music is always impactful, movies are always impactful, so we can use the arts to tell a story as it relates to racial healing and racial reconciliation. And so that's where, like, some of us putting our heads together, how can we tell a larger story as it relates to the arts? So I was dreaming of that.
All right, let's get back to the show.
Cool.
Can I get a quick picture?
Yeah, definitely.
Yo, this is Maddie Ray, and you're in the field with the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Wright, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, this segment is sponsored by Midtown Bridge Church, ATL, man. So make sure that you are checking out the sermons weekly. It's midtownbridgechurch.com for all more information that you need to go and check this out, all right?
All right, so we have been talking a lot around here recently about what Kanye West is doing, a lot of debate, in our little group chats and stuff about, what's his motives? Is this a real thing? Because I think everybody wants it to be a real thing.
Yeah.
But what we kind of realize is there seems to be another genre emerging.
Coming up, yeah.
So I kind of dubbed it BCHH, right?
Yeah.
So what the BC stands for, a couple things, but mostly bad Christian hip hop, and not bad, not bad meaning like it's bad,
not like bad music.
But do you know the Bad Christian podcast? Do you know that podcast?
Yeah.
You familiar with them?
Mm-hmm.
So Bad Christian podcast is Christians that they curse and talk about things kind of in a real way.
Been in CH.
So I'm calling it the Bad Christian hip hop genre, right?
Yeah.
So that's the Chance the Rappers, the Kanye West, the people that you wouldn't consider part of what we do, but they still rep Christ pretty hard.
Yeah.
So we kind of don't really know where to put them. You know what I'm saying? Like I know for you, for line, you kind of still stick all those people on the other side, even though they're talking about Jesus. So is there a new genre emerging, BCHH?
So the only thing I think about when we talk about BCHH is that there's two things that I see that could happen, right? I'm not saying it's happening right now, but I think that CHH is a quicker road to success and fame if you are a rapper and you're trying to get noticed, right? We know somebody who was in Christian hip hop and they told me, they were like, well, I want to just go do mainstream hip hop for a minute and see what happens there. And I was like, okay, so you're getting ready to jump into a pool with 5 million rappers, right? But right now you're in the pool with 5,000. Right? So how are you going to get noticed?
So this is just a business move.
It could be a business move. That's what I'm thinking BCHH could become, right? Is a business move to see how people, how quickly I can get noticed, how quickly I can get to fame, right? I don't identify any artists that we have right now that have done that, and I hope that they don't come up that way. But it's just interesting to think that there's a way for you to.
That's interesting because I think most people see it the other way. They see it as being in CHH is limiting, and I'm going to go hip-hop route to get a quicker route to fame.
So hip-hop route, just like I'm saying, you're still getting behind so many millions of rappers who are out there getting noticed.
Yeah, but what they would say is that even the top of Christian hip-hop is still not fame.
I don't know because look at what some of our artists are doing that are on major labels. Like if you get a major label to notice you,
we know them, but I don't know if everybody knows them.
People know NF. I've been asking around now. People know NF now.
But he went the route that I'm talking about. He went the other way.
So but what I'm saying is like it's still it's even though he's considered in our genre,
right? He was in our genre at one time. He still got to fame.
Yeah, I would say he went the route I'm talking about. He did the Christian hip hop thing, didn't work out. Let me go the regular.
I don't even think that's how it went for him. Honestly, I think that he did the Christian hip hop thing, and I think people noticed him and were like, "Oh snap, this is." You know, I mean, like, I think Capital, because see, here's the thing, you can't really say he didn't go the Christian hip hop route and it didn't work for him because he got signed first by Capital Christian Music.
Okay.
They noticed something about him where they were like, yo, this dude could do mainstream and do pretty well, right? So I think that could be possibly what's happening. The same thing with Angie Rose. She could have gone Capital Christian Music, but instead they took her on to what? Capital?
No.
Is she Capital Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that on the on the flyer. I seriously didn't see. They have different call signs for their label, so I didn't see that on the flyer.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Am I wrong?
I think
she's Capital, bro.
CCG, Capital Christian Group.
CCMG.
Yeah.
No, it's not CCMG. It's CCG.
CCG, Capital Christian Group, I think, or Capital something. But
I saw CMG. I didn't see CC. Like,
so
Capital Music Group is what I saw.
So here's a question: Do we think this subgenre that you're talking about does it benefit us or does it benefit mainstream Christian people?
I think it could potentially hurt us, right? Because you tested me one day on this and said that am I okay with Christians up to the point where they Christian hip hop artists up to the point where they curse, right? Is that where we're talking about? I think what this could do is this could set off a tone of people saying, "Oh, I can do what I want," and still be authentically myself, and then call myself a Christian. That's what I think is turning into.
I think the reason that this genre is emerging is it's an easier route for mainstream artists that are trying to give their life to Christ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's less of a jump down to where it's like I can still kind of be myself, but then just kind of refocus my one true love from money and sex and fame to Jesus, but I still get to kind of do it my own way. And it's also an easier route for those Christians who kind of live in the CHH world who feel boxed in and they feel like they can't really be themselves. So I do think there will be an emerging genre of people who say they're Christians, but they curse and they say some kind of wild stuff, and it's like.
Okay, so now I know certain people that we have on our live chat. Like, do you think some of them will probably be like, well, if it's a curse, if it's not just cursing the curse, if it means something, is that still bad?
What?
Like, okay, so like, let's say you have a song about, I don't know, like something really serious, and you trying to get your point across, and you rapping and you curse on it because whatever that part of that song was felt like it needed a curse. Was that considered something like bad, or is that just, you know what I'm saying?
I think people who don't like cursing just don't like it. So
yeah, I know. I mean, but I'm just saying that people who like, I'm just thinking about artists in our genre now that curse.
What, they question their salvation? Is that what you're
No,
trying
I'm
to
not
figure
questioning salvation. I'm just saying, like, for the average listener, would that be not say a problem, but is it? I mean, for them as their art, like, prime example, as they create art, sometimes like even a painter could be Christian, but he has some art that's like, what is that about? You know what I mean? And they explain it and they say, well, I had to use this picture because that's the way I felt that my art needed to be.
The problem is that the infrastructure around CHH as it is now is not really built for people who curse, right? Yeah. It's built as, like, think about K-Love just got to Atlanta, right? Yeah. K-Love is all over the place. And it's like positive, this, and they don't even say Christian. They say positive. They say, clean, inspiration. Yeah. So that doesn't really fit into that bucket, right? So you would have to fit into the hip-hop bucket, which doesn't care if you curse, right? So there's not a real strong lane carved out for cursing, highly Christian content. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not even, think about the people.
Should there be, though? I'm just trying to figure out, like, should there be?
I don't know if you could stop it.
I'm not saying you should stop it, but I'm just saying I don't necessarily know if that's the move. And I get it. I mean, there are times when you being human and you want to reflect your being human as a Christian through art. It's just that's a little sticky.
So where do you put Chance? I don't know what this Kanye album is going to be like, but he's made attempts at making quote unquote Christian albums where it was cursing in it. Then there's like the Foggy Raw, whatever.
Foggy Raw.
Foggy Raw. Is it Foggy? I
Foggy
always feel
Raw.
like it should be Fugi. But anyway, so Foggy Raw. So there's a lane of people who we know are Christians that do this.
Yeah, but they get play in the secular realm, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's their lane. I don't necessarily see them on an inspirational place.
I'm thinking about
playlist.
Like the people that you said, Froggy Raw, sometimes Caleb does, sometimes different people does. I don't think that they don't want to be in this genre. I don't think they're using this genre, but I just think their art is calling them to use. That's what I've heard before. Like people saying, yo, I just needed whatever word right here because I felt like the art I was creating.
Well, okay, you know what? There's actually two different groups because Caleb Mitchell, Foggy Raw, if you listen to him, you wouldn't. It's not obviously Christian stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about people who make obviously Christian music, but they curse, like Chance. Chance makes stuff that's explicitly Christian stuff.
Yeah.
But he'll curse like right next to something about God, right? Yeah. They're not even doing that.
Maybe they don't know this genre exists. Maybe they think maybe it's just Lecrae, and that's it.
I think they know the genre exists. I think they do.
So what do we do with those people? Where do you put them?
No, I mean I just think I don't think they know that this is a big genre of other people out here that's like Lecrae. I don't think they do.
But so are you saying that in order for them to fit into what we do, they're gonna have to stop cursing? Is that how you get jumped in?
That's how you get jumped in. That's what we're doing. I don't think so. I think the thing is first off, to me, I think if you're going to really be in this, me personally, I feel like you need to be under somebody and get under somebody before you start rapping about this, because it's almost to me, I always put about when the great storytellers can tell a story that they know 100% about. You know what I mean? When we go back in time, when we listen to rappers like Biggie, when we listen to rappers like Tupac, Nas, Jay-Z, Andre, I was a Big Boy, everybody that when they know what they're talking about, it comes off as, wow, this is great, and it's personable. But when somebody raps about something they don't have no idea about and they just want to, now I'm not saying not share your story because that's something else, but at the same time, if you want to get in this genre, I think to me personally, it's just me, and I'm not talking about like you got to know everything about Christianity, but what I am saying is I think you got to know that, you know, when somebody comes up to you and question you, or you got to know what sanctification is, you got to know what certain things is. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you got to rap like the truth, but you just got to know certain things or be under somebody so God can really purify you, because you may get a hit record like at the church. How do you handle that?
I hear what you're saying. It's just that's a tough line to walk when you've already been doing this. Like when you're already successful as an artist, and then God touches your heart and he starts changing you, he starts transforming you. There's something going on, but you still want to use your gift in the midst of that process. Like, what does that look like? Do they need to step away for a minute and, like you were saying, you know, spend some time under leadership, mentorship, and really absorb in some sanctification before they start trying to create out of this new place? Or do they create through it? You know what I mean?
I didn't hear the original question, but from what I'm hearing, I didn't hear the original question. But I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing for someone to kind of create art in their process, because I feel like we're all in our process. I do think that like having discipleship is important, but like, what if this is just, what if it's okay? Like, what if it what if the Lord is using this? And I think sometimes I don't know, recently I had a revelation of like just how as a Christian personally growing up in the church, I've had these boxes that I wasn't even really aware of, that like things needed to look a certain way, and like God can operate in the midst of the chaos. Like it doesn't need to be perfectly in this cookie cutter thing for it to be him touching it. And so like I don't know, I feel like it's okay. Like he will get the glory. if he's working, he'll continue to work. And I don't think that we have to have it completely figured out, because maybe it's not for us.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
Michelle
yeah.
said lots of BCHH in my emails, which takes up so much more time when reviewing for airplay considerations. I thought they were just trying to get airplay. So we have to deal with that too. We get a lot of emails, people submitting music, and you got to carve through it. And there are a lot of those kind of like what our line typically, like just being honest, like if we hear you cursing your song, that's an immediate boom, put that in another pile. Is that fair? Are we doing the right thing there? If you have a girl's butt on your picture, that's an immediate boom too.
And you know, maybe it's not for this platform, because there are other platforms. Like, and I say maybe it's not for this platform because as much as we strive to reach people that may not already know Christ or aren't in relationship, I think the majority of the Trackstarz universe are believers. So we kind of have that responsibility where it's like we want to make sure that we're edifying you somewhat while remaining relevant. So maybe it's just not for this platform, but for another, or for another arm of this platform.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me give you another
That's a good
challenge.
point.
Let me give you another challenge. So some of y'all know that we do distribution, right? So our challenge is we get songs, you know, from people with cursing on it, and they'll ask us, "Can I put this song out?" And the answer is,
well, you know where I stand. You want me to tell you where I stand?
the answer is
no.
I think it's harder when you're judging from someone's art and you don't know their heart. Like I feel like that's
T-shirt.
I just feel like it's hard. So it's just I don't know how constructive it is, because people can put out all sorts of stuff, can put out, you know, do a facade, you know what I mean, have a persona of being in this right holy place and not be. And then someone who's using profanity could be in a better heart posture than someone who's not. And we're elevating someone who appears to be a certain way. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know the structures.
Maybe?
The systemic things.
But these are hard. These are like, I'm not even talking about as a business. I don't care about that part. I'm talking about just as a Christian. Like, these are like those hazy areas where you start to feel like, is God gonna see me as compromising if I do these things?
Right.
Is God gonna see me as like kind of selling out if I say, well, you know, we need the money, or, you know, I don't really feel like getting into it with this person, so I'm gonna just put out the cussing song. Is that?
But I
maybe
think,
it's prayer.
But I think sometimes
motive.
like I mean, I don't know if this happened before, and I'm just throwing it out there. Let's say it's somebody on our team, like Rick. We use Rick for example. If he says, "Hell, here's a new song from me," and it's explicit. Now Rick's brand that we've worked hard on with him is he was marketing the way he was marketing. Now his fans will be like, "What are you doing? What is this?" So sometimes you don't even have to speak about it. But as a distributor, you would probably be like, bro, what's going on here? What are you doing? You know what I mean? The beat sound hot, you rapping on it, but why are you cursing? Like, I think that's the question that.
But his is a little different because he didn't start off that way.
But that's what I'm saying. Like him starting off, his fan base already knows what Rick is about.
So you would see that as backsliding?
Not necessarily, but you've already created an image of yourself. I feel like it's a little different if you've never talked about God and then all of a sudden you're coming into that.
Yeah.
Or even like there might be people who don't use profanity, but their music is so raw that you wouldn't be surprised if a profane word came out. You know what I mean? Because they're already so raw in other ways of speaking. But I think if you have a completely different sound and then you change, it will be like a shocker, but I think that's also just a branding thing.
But like, okay, prime example, Seven. I use Seven for example. Seven's in the streets, so it doesn't excuse it. But at the same time, his music is touching people that may need to hear him speak the way he need to speak. You know what I mean? I'm not giving it a pass. I'm just saying I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I think it's hard when it's like somebody like Seven and you know for a fact that this is coming from a place, like a godly place in his heart.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like people like Seven, when Bizzle first came and he was saying words, I don't know if he's decided not to or not, whatever. But it's like, man, I see what you're trying to do. I'll give you a pass, but what if you don't know him? Are we judging it based off of the person?
That's the piece. I think that's like prayer. Because how else are we going to have insight? there's no other way for us to just know just by listening to a song or looking at someone's picture.
And should we be screening it that much? Should we even be screening that much?
I think you do need to be protective of the platform that you have because you have influence.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that influence, to the best of your ability, is used in a way that honors God.
So let me bring it back to BCHH. Are you familiar with Bad Christian Podcast?
I was gonna say, what does BCHH
Please
stand for?
inform me. I'm
Bad
so
Christian
lost.
hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So
Bad
it's
Christian
based off of
what?
the Bad Christian Podcast. Bad Christian Podcast, the Christian podcast. They've had
the
CHH artists on it. I think.
But they like rock music. Their stuff is more rock.
Yeah, but they've had propaganda on and stuff like that, right? But they curse on their show.
Okay.
Okay.
So a lot of people listen to their show. Based on I've heard their show, and if you just remove the cursing, it would be just like any other
But the
Christian
branding itself says you're going to get some cuss words.
Right.
You call Bad Christian.
But again, this is not, I don't care about the brand part. I'm just Jesus. We're just talking about Jesus here. Is that wrong?
But there's still, even in there being just Jesus, you still have demographics that you cater your content to.
Right, but I'm just saying,
Bad
like,
Christian.
Jesus is up here. Is he saying, oh, well, if that's your demo,
But
then
why
it's,
bad?
or is he's like, no?
Well, why bad? I don't like that. Personally, I'm hung up on that. I don't like that word because if it's about the process, then it's about the process. If things come out, if it's raw, if it's uncut, then it comes out. But why bad? Because
No,
bad
I'm
me.
just pulling from their name.
No, I understand. Yeah. But the BCH, whatever, the acronym is, to me, that's a little strange and contradictory.
But their podcast is tongue in cheek. They're basically saying you would call me a bad Christian, but I don't think I am. That's the whole point of their podcast.
All right, well, going back to the genre thing. What if they're seeds? What if Chance, Kanye, DMX, anybody else that may have made a Christian rap song that the rest of their project is cursing? What if they're just seeds so that people will be like, okay, so who do I need to know more about Jesus? Why should I walk with Jesus?
Yeah,
Why should I know?
I think, they're seeds, but I think that assumes what you're saying is that what they're doing is not enough because of the cursing. If they took away the cursing, then it would be, put in rotation, let's go.
A false message.
I don't think so.
None of what we do is enough. The person who doesn't cuss, we can't save anybody. A person living a sinless life cannot save anybody. Only Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm just saying, if these people are in a lineup and one curses and one doesn't, is that your dividing line between somebody who is okay, somebody who's not okay?
It's not my decision to make, honestly.
Are you asking personally, or are you asking?
Are you playing it or not? Are you distributing it
from the perspective of Trackstarz?
As a Christian.
That's what I'm saying. As a Christian, it's not my decision to make. As
somebody
somebody responsible for this platform, then I have to make that decision.
Any platform, not just this one.
It depends on the platform.
Why?
Because the audience is different.
Why does that matter?
Because the bad Christian group or whatever, their demographic may need those seeds. They may need those seeds to edge them toward Christ.
So are you saying
can you stay there? I don't know.
It's okay to curse and be okay with cursing in certain circumstances, or is it always bad?
I'm saying you can't stay there. That might be a part of your journey, but just like I can't stay where I am, I got to constantly keep moving toward being perfected in Christ.
So we're all saying that it is a sign of somebody who is not as far along as somebody who doesn't curse.
It could be.
Well, so the thing I think is the issue is that we all every time we go out of the house, every time we turn on a radio show or listen to a song, we're having to put on a lens of seeing people through who they are, who they're displaying right now. We all could be terrible people behind the scenes and nobody knows it, right?
You're cursing profiling.
So all I'm saying is, I think that we get what we're given, right? And that's all we're gonna have. And so if you're bearing the fruit of,
the fruit is the curse.
The fruit
not
for
cursing.
me, because I have to go off as much. I have to be able to make a decision. Like it's just like being in a jury. You have evidence.
What else is in there? Is it like pants up, not cursing, haircut? Like what else? What else is in your list of approvals? approval list.
That takes too long, right? Because that's honestly is what I do. That's what I do for a living.
Is the judge, jury, and execution.
Yeah, that's what I do for a living. So it's hard for me to break that down without having to tell you why I'm telling you all those things. So that takes too long. But all I'm saying is we get what we're like. If we're a jury, we only get the evidence that the prosecutor or they're giving us.
Unfortunately,
right?
this topic just started getting good, so we're gonna finish it because we gotta go.
Okay.
What you got?
Cool. So I was just gonna say, you asked how would you feel about it in any market. So if you're thinking about it, just as a Christian, when she says depends on the market, I always think of Johnson & Johnson. So Johnson & Johnson isn't necessarily a Christian company, but they won't play a song on the commercial if it's cursing because they're marketing to children or they're marketing to families or so on and so forth. So usually Christian platforms are marketing to families, are marketing to children, and that's immediately something that you want to filter out of those type of things. Okay, so in which case, then what is your reason like, I just don't think. So then what is the reasoning behind it?
The reason is because Christians feel that if somebody curses, then that's a sign that they're not as Christian as you.
Okay, well, in that point, we have to decide whether or not is it a personal. Is that a? Are we?
That's what we're saying, right?
I mean, that's the general consensus in most of it. So sure.
One quick thing. I know we have to go, but I think the Russell is. I get what Trey is saying, and I agree to a certain extent. But I think for Christians, it's a little different. That's factored into it, but also it's like, are you going to cause someone else to stumble? Like, that's really what it is. And so figuring out, is this edifying to the demographic that I'm, pointing toward? Because it could be. Or is it causing someone to stumble? And I think because we are a media platform, it is hard to discern who is receiving the content that you're putting out. And so that's why I really think it comes down to just prayer and asking God, like, hey, what do you want us to do? Because from a human perspective, there's literally no way we can know how this is impacting. Like, is this causing the masses to stumble, or is this edifying them and causing them to come closer to God? So I just
let's do this real quick because we have time. Do you curse? Everybody in the chat too. Do you curse?
No, I don't curse.
Do you curse?
I don't.
Do you curse?
I don't know.
I might say some other things you might not
When's
like.
When's the last time?
No, I mean, I don't understand why we're doing this right now.
Was it yesterday?
No.
It was yesterday.
It was like a year ago.
30 minutes ago?
I stubbed my toe on the bed. No.
It's because some people.
16 when I got into a fight and I was trying to look bad.
What do you call a curse? What about what's in my
That's
cursor
what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. Might say some other things you don't like.
What's
but
in
I
there?
don't say 4-letter
y'all
words.
don't like some of the words I say. But
never heard you say
if we talking about the hard four,
the hard
a long
four.
time. I used to say them on purpose. I used to say them on purpose, like way back.
For shock value.
I was like, yo, I was in a bad time, right? And I was just like,
I was in a bad time.
I was like, yo, why not, man? Boom.
Wow,
boom.
just dropping them.
It just don't feel good. But so I stopped. But I always wondered why. I mean, I know the verses that people point to, but why are those like such qualifiers for most Christians? Because I know Christians who don't curse that are terrible.
Yeah.
I know Christians who curse who are not terrible. So cursing seems to be a dividing line for a lot of people.
Well, yeah.
Because I was thinking that, I was like, what is somebody bearing fruit? They got a ministry, whatever, and then when they talk to you, it's like.
But is the agreement that cursing?
It's appearance. It's about
bad?
appearance. That's what the church is looking for. You have to look a certain way. That's how we as an American church operate. If you don't look this way, then sorry.
The only reason I'm challenging this is because I think in our minds we judge a lot of people.
Yeah, we do.
We judge people
We do.
for whatever we think they're struggling with.
Yeah.
Or whatever they haven't fixed yet. And I just putting in your mind, how do you feel about people who curse? And I think a lot of people, they dismiss them. They dismiss them as not Christian. And you may just think about it, because you may be right that they shouldn't, based on what you read in the Bible, even though none of the words that people say now even existed when the Bible was written, right? But the principle of not saying words that culture deems as the worst of the worst is a common thing, right? So I understand that. But your attitude towards certain brands of Christian may be stemming from pride.
And Christian culture itself and not.
Yeah. And our detest towards certain people because of that. it's not out of, man, I really want them to get closer to God. It's more so because you decided that these people are in and these people are out.
Yeah.
So just be careful
True
because you
that.
might be out. You're in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tan, and DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
I mean, you can cancel like most black people. I know I still say that.
That's the problem.
Occasionally.
I was thinking
All
about
the
that too.
time.
Latasha
All
Lee?
the time I say that.
Angie Rose is not signed to Capital Christian Music. She is signed to
Capital CMG.
Or just regular Capital Music Group.
She's CMG. Capital Music Group.
I saw the opposite one.
It's not Capital CMG, it's just CMG. Because Capital CMG is Capital Christian Music Group.
No, it's
You
just
know what I'm
CMG.
What's that?
Well, first of all, I looked up their list of artists, and they don't have her listed. That's one thing. But the second thing is when I looked
Maybe
at,
she chose that.
when I looked at Rapzilla's release on her, it was
She signed the CMG.
Capital Music Group. That's what it says.
CMG.
She's not signed to CCMG.
I think she is.
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear back. But
Angie Rose
January is
signed to
when
Capitol
school
Records.
starts back.
Angie Rose announces signing with Capitol Records.
Yes, I have a little time.
And Christian Capital is CCMG. CCMG.
Here's a question. Do y'all think the cover for the song was controversial? For her song and the song Fight Like a Man.
I didn't see the cover. I saw the
The
video.
cover is she's on top of the car. But just
Unless she has not been put on their list yet.
How would that be controversial?
Probably just because it's...
I mean, it's not controversial. It's just like her just sitting on the car. But normally when you see a woman on the car, it's like crazy.
Huh? Maybe I missed it.
What?
You said normally when you see women on a car.
Normally when you see a woman in a car and she's on a car, it's like she's in a bikini or
In a car on a card?
On a car, driving car.
I didn't see. I wasn't even thinking about that.
I got you. Okay.
But they made it look classier.
That's cool. I've seen that work before.
That's true, Risha. A lot of these, and that's probably something I didn't talk about. A lot of the people you think don't curse,
Do curse.
they curse when like
They're not off the mic.
when they're in here without cameras. In here.
That's why I said that.
Well, I mean,
That's
we
the whole
say
thing.
some stuff that we probably wouldn't. I know I say some stuff that I probably wouldn't say.
There's, I mean, I throw the N in
people say
key
there's a lot
times.
of.
When
I was
it's
gonna say
necessary.
very key
That's what I
times.
was gonna say.
Sean,
That's the word that I
they
use
know.
that y'all don't
Sean,
want. I will use that word.
The N is necessary. It's not a curse word. It's just
The
harsh.
N is necessary.
At
I've
times,
never heard
Sometimes.
that.
Sean is probably the
and
most
Sean on the
distinct
same page.
like person I've ever seen use it though.
Sometimes the N is
Sean, it'll be like 6 months, and then one day Sean will just be like, boom, you be like, I can't believe this happened. It's like,
I'm right there with you.
Just so you know.
I need to understand. I need to understand this logic.
I didn't grow up in N being a curse word.
I didn't either.
Time.
I still don't consider
N
it
has
so.
recently been added to the curse word list. I don't get it.
I never thought it was a part of
it.
it.
You don't know where it came from. It's just,
Who put this on here?
Who put this in my mental road?
I think it became that because everybody can't say it. That's why.
Yeah, well, that's not.
Well,
my
that's
problem.
not.
When you acting ignorant, you gonna get called in.
I don't like that though.
I'm just saying.
I understand it.
I think I said it to
get
you
it.
once, not about you, but about your situation. I do say it to women that need to hear it. Leave it in alone. That's what I say.
understand. You're right.
Sometimes you got.
It's a real sentiment, but verbalizing it makes me feel some type of way.
That's why you need it every now, not every day.
Not all the time. when it comes up.
When it calls for it. When it's a big gun, it's a big gun.
I told you, man.
She said, I think I
She
said
probably
it to you
they're trying to
before.
probably move her to the next level, so they're trying to keep it.
They figured out though
ambiguous.
successful and now
Using my
by
comfort
taking
space at that
Christians
time.
off of.
What you
And,
say?
and,
was in a
and I
comfort
say
space at that time.
I say H every now and then.
Quarters,
Some people don't like
you know.
H.
Wait, hell was a. Oh, I just said it. My bad.
Yeah,
Hell was
That's why I say H, because people have problems with that word.
That's a curse word?
I grew up in the family.
You don't read the whole Bible?
No. When it's used incorrectly. When it's used incorrectly.
Okay, so when it's incorrect, because
get the H
when you're
out.
trying to condemn someone to it.
You ready?
Get the H out of here.
Or you just,
Mama, I made it. Okay.
I don't use it at anybody.
I don't use it at anyone, but I say it in a sentence.
So we doing line for line.
Like not referring to a person.
Did you see what I
But
asked
to
you?
a place?
Not even to a place.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to go into it.
Yeah, later.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Man, if you don't listen live, man, you missing out a lot, man. Shout out to everybody on YouTube watching us right now live and commenting. We use a lot of the comments in our discussion. So please go to youtube.com/Trackstarz with a Z. We broadcast live. Well, just go there and you'll find out. It's on Saturdays. All right?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, visit www.trackstarz.com. Know that we are not just a YouTube video. We are also a 2-hour radio show, a podcast. You can check us out on iTunes. You can also download our app. And every Monday, new show will be released. All right?
Oh, okay. It was so funny. You caught me off guard when you just you said it's 150. We about to do line for line.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, it's part of the show. All right, the views and opinions of the Trackstarz universe, not the views and opinions of the artists of the label, producer, others. As offends you feel like we shouldn't be doing this, please press stop now if you've never heard of the mainstream artists and think about checking them out. This is not what this is about, people. Just press stop. We try not to do the same artists over and over and over again. If you're a person only listen to Christian artists and you be like, man, this ain't my cup. We did a dope interview with some folks. We did some dope noteworthies. We do some dope topics. Go check them out. All right, Chris Noel is not the Christian version of anybody. It's just a bit.
Ooh.
On one side, we got Chris Noel, like I just said. And I asked Chris Noel. I went in. We talked on direct message. And I asked him, I said, man, who you want to go against? He gave me his 3 songs. And I said, who you want to go against? He said, man, Hopsin. Let's do Hopsin. So, if you never heard of Hopsin, that brother's crazy, but Hopsin versus Chris Noel. This was Chris Noel's suggestion, so here we go. We're gonna get this thing started. We're gonna start off first with Hopsin. This song is called "I Don't Want It." So here we go.
Present day, all my people are gone. No real friends, just leeches around eating the crumbs. No family bonds, no FV, can't be with my son. No girlfriend, I swear I thought that she was the one. I feel alone, and I struggle to give my fans what they want from me. I'm struggling to build this UP company. I'm begging on my knees like, God, please help me, cause I can't breathe. I'm trying to smile, but pain is cutting deep. Show me that I'm more than just a rapper. Show me that this life that I've been working on is meant to be more than just a disaster. I hope this message I'm sending is floating up.
All right, that was "I Don't Want It" by Hopsin. This is Chris Noel, "Fade Away." Here we go.
Karambe, times are growing wild and no Deontay. My country versus God is Mount Vesuvius versus Pompeii. It's hard for me to see through the fog of their apathy. The will of God don't match up with their motives or their strategies. My people's self-awareness is the same as Gilligan's. Searching for a scapegoat, they trade shots like it's Wimbledon. The wind from their tip is throwing off my equilibrium. Try to guard my heart so it don't morph into obsidian. God help, yeah. God the asylum I'm fleeing to for my guidance.
All right, that was "Fade Away" by Chris Noel versus Hopsin's "I Don't Want It." Who y'all going with?
What you got?
I guess I'll go with the second one.
Okay, what you got?
I'm gonna go Hopsin.
Hopsin.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Maya?
Yeah, that matchup threw me off. It did. I'm just saying. I'm a truth teller.
Sometimes my wife helps me with these. Honestly, Maya helps me with sometimes.
But
I
not
get
this time.
I didn't help you with that
Obviously,
one.
it didn't.
Just keeping her name off this.
So I'm gonna
with me.
toss.
I wouldn't have done that one. I'm gonna go Hopsin on that one. What you got?
I got
Hopsin. What you got?
Hops.
Hops. All right, that's Hopsin 1-0.
Okay, so
Kev is not in the corner. He is online. What's up, Kev?
Kev online.
Kev online.
Kev online. All right, so Hopsin got that one. That's 1-0 right now. All right, we're gonna start off with Chris Noel this time. This is called "Raise the Bar," Volume 1. Here we go.
I highness. You now surfing with Wakanda's finest. On my Nimbus, flying with my worries laid back like recliners. Golden touch like a Midas. I scribe fire on papyrus. Raise the bar the highest so the biters can't reach where the mic is. Licorice excellence with maximum effort. If the flow don't do it, boy, I guarantee you the wordplay will get you. Big as a road and small as the ocean. I'm complicated. Smash those opposing. They sleeping like Odin, intoxicated. Drunk off that bottle full of inclusion, moody and bougie. Put me in the boonies with goonies while they popping their tooties. I give a dang about your jewelry. That calls a fool of your 2-3. I came to slaughter like Uzi, whether you ready or not, like Fuji.
All right, that was Raise the Bar, Volume 1 by Kris Noel. And this is Twisted by Hopsin.
A new planet, my ego is on Eiffel. Just arguing off, I ain't really gonna see no high road. Man, hot, why you seem so spiteful? Stepping on, looking like FIFO, FIFO. Get used to my trifling ways when enemies got a price to pay. I don't really fit in with none of you. Again, when I'm near you, I feel like I'm metal in a microwave. I'd much rather be at home all alone by myself. Yup, love and support I can buy myself. Yup, foes be the real reason why I melt. Yup, y'all get around me and I my wealth. Yup, I don't need anyone's sideline help. No pain in my eyes every time I yell. If I don't relax, then my mind might swell. But I guess that's life, oh well. So here's my hypothesis. What?
All right, that was Twisted by Hopsin versus Raise the Bar, Volume 1, Kris Noel. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
Second one because of the beat.
The beat.
I'm going to go Kris Noel on that first one.
What you got, Maya?
I got Hopsin.
Yeah, I got Hopsin as well. Once a Christian hip-hop artist as well. Right? Once upon a time.
He was going down that direction, and then I think something happened in his life.
When you arrived, though, you know. So I got Hopsin. What you got? Hopsin, what you got?
Ooh, I want to go with Hop, but I like how Kris flipped the
that's the Kendrick beat.
All the Stars joint.
Yeah.
So I give it to Kris. I give it to Kris Noel.
Well, it didn't help. Hopsin still won.
Dang. Well, you didn't count. You know how to count on side?
No.
Are you count online?
It's Hopsin.
Hopsin.
So it's 4-2.
4-2. So it's 2-0 right now,
Yeah,
Hopsin.
man.
All right, we're gonna start. We'll start off with the Hopsin start. No, Hopsin this time. Picasso. Here we go.
Hollywood, oh how I love you. I cannot seem to break through from this curse that I've been stuck to. I came in as a little man, but now I'm grew. Today's the day our ties are finally cut loose. Fuck you. Uh-oh, it's my trifle. And I'm pulling up like high guys are back. I'm so up that I can't get down. Gotta skydive from that. Won't see the day I might relax. I ain't never been a nice guy. In fact, y'all wishing I would try nicer rap. Sorry, I ain't got the right mind for that. Look how Cody is pimping just like HOV is. Y'all are beyond saving. My rhymes stay inappropriate. This is just how my show.
All right, that was Picasso by Hopsin. This is Flame On by Kris Noel.
There with that pendulum. I don't know if I'ma make it through tomorrow. So like pressing for the crown like my time is borrowed. Hold up, watching you aiming at. You dealing with a pyromaniac. Dripping like the fluid off my penny pad. Break the beat in half when I bend it back. Cloud surfing in the old city. Eagle status like I rep Phillies. More drive than a Chevy. Hear me see the grind in me. Got the flow gritty. Took an L but I come back with a vengeance. I'ma never pull a repeat. May hit the ground but I come back with a blue flame in the place of my defeat. I'ma wrap around like a drive-through. Plus 66 when I slide through. Trying to beat like a typhoon. Then clean the blood no Beirut. Flying like I'm another then again. Skywalk.
All right, that was Flame On, Kris Noel, Picasso, Hopsin. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
The second one.
Second one.
Flame On.
Okay, we know. What you got?
Kris Noel.
Yeah, I got Kris Noel on that. What you got? Kris Noel, what you got?
Kris.
All right, that's 5-0 wash.
Yeah.
Water.
All right, so it's what, 2-1?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Yo, Blessing Report said next week y'all need to do Kanye line for line so we can ride the SEO.
What's the SEO?
Because his album come out next week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what SEO is.
Yeah.
Ruslan, search engine up.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right, this is okay. That's 4. All right, this is Hopsin first. Did we do Hopsin first? No, we did. This is Kris Noel, straight up.
Like Darth Vader till I skywalk him with a lightsaber. Suplex him, that's a bad breaker. Make him turn to vapor when I ashtray him. Bulldozer, make my own lane. Cannon on my shoulder when I take aim. Standing tall as a great Dane. Catapult my crown, let the king reign. Might get knocked down, but I get up. Strength inside me like Magilla. Open my mouth, I'm like Godzilla. Leave your entire city lit up. Red Freddy Krueger with a bazooka. Surfing this wave with my barracudas. Try to check me off as a loser, but I rise like temperatures in Fallujah. Nothing you heard before, they got the same old flow. I'm a blackout, then send the credit.
All right, that was straight up Kris Noel. This is Hopsin. You should have known.
The carcass is glued to the front end. I'm cruising the deserts. I leave them with crucial concussions. Who getting punished? Take off your juice and then run it. I'm acting the fool in the public. Check out the drip. I keep the juice in the oven. Life is an everyday struggle, but keep to yourself, homie, you shouldn't button. Who's interrupting? You should've knew I was coming. I'm a gambler like dice roller, hit it blindfolded. Been a fool, my mind scolded since middle school, had psychosis. If y'all see me outside roaming, then I probably wouldn't leave those blinds open. I'm known to hit like a cyclone to strike at any given time, so see my son.
That was You Should Have Known, Hopsin versus straight up Kris Noel.
You know who he would be a good match
NF?
with? Nope. Mouthpiece.
Who?
Listen to him again. He got a mouthpiece feel to him, especially on that last one. What you got?
The first song.
First. What you got?
Kris Noel.
Toss on that.
What you got, Maya?
I got Kris on it too.
Jeremiah's still confused about what I said.
You talking about Mouthpiece and...
Yeah, listen to
Hopsin.
that last one again.
That last verse, I felt what you was talking about.
Yeah. It sound like Mouthpiece. I got Hopsin on that. What you got? Kris Noel. What you got?
Ooh, I think I'm going to go with Hop.
Everybody tossing. What you got? What you got? What you got? Huh? Hopsin.
So is it a toss then? Because
It's a toss.
round.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So no 7 today.
All right.
said okay.
No 7 today. Oh, yeah, somebody's going to win. All right, we're going to start off with Hopsin this front time. It's called Ill Mind of Hopsin 8. Here we go.
This a motherfucking journey we finna go through. If I ain't had so much to lose, I swear to God, I'd probably beat up and choke you. Yeah, this is that raw, that organic flow you probably see up in Whole Foods. Shiver me timbers, something's fishy about you, Mr. D. Ritter. When I told you that I wanted new management, why the fuck you throw a fit and seem bitter? Why you catch an attitude whenever I question you about on my fucking percentages? I know why. You been bending it in your benefit. Your Honor, I'm innocent. This nigga crazy. I'm telling all of my people. You tell him. He taking all of my C-notes.
That was Ill Mind.
Now you know how to get Miracle's attention in your raps. Talk about healthy living. Talk about healthy Whole Foods.
That's funny.
It's like, yes.
That's Ill Mind of Hopsin 8. Hopsin. This is Bang Bang by Kris Noel.
Need for me pulling the trigger, the cap, you get popped by my lyrical shrapnel. Favorite trap shooting, you get hit like 10 backhands when they smack you. What are they doing? Trying to push knuckles on my wrist and ankles? Lyrical stance, the donkey drop out, now swing and break you. Replace my mouth with a chainsaw, crank off, slice through, make a chunk of your flesh hang off. Napalm in my saliva. Quick with it like Allen Iver, lock my sire, let them try it like cannons when I cock and fire. Before I feast on beats I try. Keeping Christ contains like putting a poodle collar on a lion. Reach and draw back and never swallow whole limbs while I'm rhyming. The flow catch him off guard like a sucker punch. Use it as an arrow to the throat, my fingers pointed out.
That was Kris Noel Bang Bang versus Hopsin's Ill Mind of Hopsin 8. Who y'all going with?
I'm going to toss.
Yeah, right. What you got?
Kris Noel, easy.
Kris Noel, what you got?
Kris Noel.
I'm gonna toss that. What you got? Kris Noel, what you got?
Chris. Or Kris Noel.
Chris.
So it's
Kris
2-2.
Noel.
2-2. This is round 6. Yep. Who y'all want to go first?
It's the last one.
Hopsin.
Let Hopsin go first?
Yeah.
All right, here's Hopsin. The Purge.
It is me, it's finna be off the chain with a brand new delivery. Try to get in my way, the feeling the rage, to sit in my brain, and then I blast you to smithereen. Please, I be thrown on the back burner. Maniac purge in a rap server, the cat burglar who be committing mass murder. That's word at the G.O.D. In the game from the P.O.V. Begging they plead on knees, don't be no peace, the D.O.G. I feed on beats. Wanna die, they can lean on me. No bill with us. You P, I done built it up. You wishing you was on the field with us. I'm the ill deal, look at me grill with me, then I will erupt. Still, we must remain calm. Nate Palm in my dang palm, I'm a dark villain like Blaze Spawn, Akon with a
Yo, Kev, stop being a manager. Stop being a manager, Kev. He's always
No, what did he say?
So you know he has a new album. Stop being a manager, Kev.
Some of these songs off his new album.
Stop being a manager. He's like, yo, my client, man. You gotta make sure you get his new stuff.
All right, that was The Purge by Hopsin. This is Power Source by Kris Noel.
Clowns like Harley. My dark nights have me belling like Christian. The game Two-Face, leaving dance like Harvey. Tryna make a boy freeze up like Victor. Came in the stain, name it a cane ring when I bang. They label me strange, whipping like I already came. Armor with a loaded cannon, better stay in your lane. Claim the blood like Wayne. Shoot the main when I aim. The weapon I'm wielding, separate the roof from the building. Cannonball size hole in the ceiling. I seen Sue and level up to 1 million. Kakarot verse body I'm killing. Critics all become a shorter than grilling. Underdog black Uzi Maki, who can stop me? Poppy got me, no beef or bachi. I spew a got me. And make the flesh take a knob like Uzi's Poppy.
It was Power Source by Kris, Noel, The Purge, Hopsin. This is the round. We go to round 7 and out. Let's see what y'all got.
Was the first Hopsin?
Yes.
Hopsin.
Hopsin, what you
Hey, man, I should have saved that toss.
That's what I'm going to use.
Oh, man.
And Kev, he gave me them 3 songs to use too, sir.
I'm not messing with Kev. I ain't looking down. I'm just gonna vote. I'm gonna
It's
go.
like, don't mess up.
I'm gonna go Kris on it. I was gonna go Hopsin, but I'm gonna go Kris.
You got afraid? You want Kevin to
You
hang
got
you
the
out
pressure.
off a balcony?
I don't know. I just think that rhyme scheme at the very last part of Kris' song put it over.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Kris too.
This would have been a toss part, yeah. Because Hopsin was doing stuff in his other rounds that I wasn't hearing Kris do until now.
Yeah.
Playing with his flow a little bit. Not just fast or slow, but just like playing with the rhyme scheme a little bit.
A lot of people saying we're in the 7th round. We're in the 6th round.
We're in the 6th round.
And what's the score?
2-2.
So only way it could
throwing me
go to
off.
7 is if we're tossing it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna go Kris. I got Kris. What you got? Toss. What you got?
I was going to use my toss.
You're gonna use it?
Yeah, I use it.
Okay.
All right, so it's 2-1 Kris.
Online?
And then Kris, online we have.
Somebody threw me off because it said 7th round online.
Nah.
Completely threw me off. But it
Looks like it's Hopsin online.
Kris.
Is Kris online?
Uh-huh. Okay, well, Kris.
You sure? Because that 7 would look nice right now.
It would.
Count it again.
Can I get a recount?
Because they're close. They're close. Kris is starting to show me something.
Hey.
Huh? Who? Oh. We got time.
Wow, he came back.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, because Hopsin is good. Hopsin was showing me some stuff in his earlier rounds, but Kris started catching up, which I knew because that's how you order them. But so I knew that was gonna happen.
Now what, Kev?
Is that the song you heard when you tweeted what you tweeted?
No, I doing the whole thing. I was like, wow.
Tell him what you tweeted.
I said, y'all need to stop playing with Kris Noel. Kris Noel's a beast. He's fire, man. Like, he should be on everybody's list this year coming out.
Where's Ruslan? Tweet at Ruslan. Where is he at? He was here when this thing started, and then he went away, right? I need to see his votes round for round to see how he votes on these things.
That's real.
You gonna call us out?
Well,
That's real.
Vote round for round. I want to see the votes, Ruslan. Go tweet at him right now. Tell him to listen to it again. Vote round for round.
Really just want
He's tight.
I'm with Ruslan though. I'm with him all day because I mean, Kris Noel's a beast in this round. But I will challenge you to step up your production because I know you're a friend of the show, so I know you take it with a grain of salt. Step up your production because I think this is where Hopsin was in my mind was kind of edging you a little bit. Because his production had my head bobbing.
Yeah.
And I think he produced all his stuff.
So,
Hopsin.
So
well, maybe I don't know.
What I would say is that the thing that I was noticing from Hopsin, because when Kris goes fast, it's like okay, you got it. But it's the off-speed stuff that I would say work on because Hopsin, when he was just rhyming the that's where he was jumping ahead in my mind. But everything else, I think, was sharp.
But you took it. I mean, this is excellent.
He won straight
took
up.
it.
All right, man. Where's Ruslan? Tell him to come back in here. He was here. Tell him to come back.
I don't know if he's
challenge.
Where you at? I'm just playing. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Wright to Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey, don't play yourself, thinking you gon' slide by with the minimum. Your time is running out with every swing there of that pendulum. I don't know if I'ma make it through the month.
Have y'all ever put Ruslan in a line for me? I mean, Dream Junkies, I know you have, but he doesn't do any solo stuff.
Who doesn't do
Ruslan?
Yeah, it's like he puts out albums all the
Have
time.
you ever done just Ruslan, or did you just do Dream Junkies?
I think I did Ruslan before. I can't remember.
I can't think of nobody. He's pretty
Distinctive.
It's hard to find.
What about Russ?
I did Russ against Shawan recently, but I mean,
You need to put him against not Childish Gambino.
Somebody said he needs to stop. He needs to rap slower.
Chris?
Chris Noel.
What do you mean?
He has moments when he raps slower, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Or does he
does.
always come out the gate fast?
If you listen to his songs and you put it at like 75
When did you
speed,
stop
all
liking
his
that?
words are distinct.
You
It's
like that
surprising.
anytime somebody rap fast.
He never gonna stop like
You don't understand what they're saying, though, do you?
Ryan don't care
He
what
just
they
like
saying.
the technique of it. But to me, I'm getting bored
Are you
with
guys
it.
still teaching
You
Ryan
gotta
how to
switch it
rap?
Yeah, we need to get you back on that.
How's it going? When's the cipher?
He ain't never. You been practicing your bars?
Miles just had a baby. I don't think he's into anything like that right now.
Ryan's just like.
So he's off.
Look, he wasn't into nothing before he had the baby. Y'all need to schedule that without him. No, I'm just saying. When I asked him about his stuff, he'd be like, what did you say the other day? He probably gonna be pastoring soon.
Around.
I'm just
Oh, he
saying.
had like a video.
I wouldn't wait on Austin.
Do your verse.
Oh, you playing this one? This is my favorite song.
He's really tired right now.
Is this
Chris Noel?
Chris Noel?
Do it to this one.
He got a project called Catapult.
How's it sound?
I just want to know. I want to ask questions about music that is not Christian hip hop related. I want to hear some like good Christian soulful music, or like yeah, like Christian soul. Yeah, I wouldn't quite classify him as a soul I'm talking about. I feel like it doesn't really exist. There are a few, but it's
See, you were doing what I was talking about. You should
right,
do that.
exactly. So, sir, there's a whole gap.
Is that the end of their verse?
You said I was waiting till
You got some more you trying to write? You trying to add to
No,
it?
it's
No,
more
it's more-
that
it's
he
more
already
to it.
wrote.